All right, so when I first read this question, my mind drifted to the comparison of how would you change LeBron James, probably one of the world's premier athletes, to Rick James, a super freak. And so for those of you who are too young to know, Super Freak was actually the song that MC Hammer sampled on You Can't Touch This. But evidently he led his life based upon his records as well. But, I mean, weak attempt at humor aside, the short answer is it doesn't appear to be all that difficult. The recent examples of both California Chrome and Gunrunner indicate that this transition can be done fairly successfully and in a relatively short period of time. And even though there's no need really to overthink the process, there are some considerations that we need to keep in mind with these guys. And this holds primarily true for our racehorses, but I'm going to get into some of our other equine athletes as well. But obviously, timing is important. How soon from the time that he's retired from the track are we going to expect him to cover mares, on a commercial basis, that is? And their health status. Are there any injuries they're nursing or any illnesses that they need to recover from before they can begin their breeding career? And then age. You know, one thing I don't think that we should overlook, especially in these two examples here, is the fact that these are fairly mature horses who, as a person looking from the outside in, seem to have pretty darn good minds. So I think that really worked in their favor. But as a veterinarian, though, I would also make a plug for having some type of breeding soundness examination performed even before the decision is made to retire him, just to make sure all the parts are there and functioning, or at least to the best of our knowledge, functioning properly. Obviously, the true test for fertility is going to be once he starts breeding mares and successfully covering them. I mentioned some other equine athletes. You know, there are probably or numerous examples really in the show jumping world and dressage world where you have athletes competing as both in the show ring and in the breeding shed simultaneously. This example, and shout out to some standardbred folks here, is Father Patrick. Now he raced as both a 2, 3, and 4-year-old. He earned over $2.5 million on the track. And as a 4-year-old, he won one race, ran second in 2 of them, earned $150,000, all the while maintaining a pretty steady breeding career, albeit in an artificial insemination program. Now, for you thoroughbred people, I'm not trying to plant any funny ideas in your heads, but I do want to point out the fact that there are several instances where stallions seem to have good minds and are capable enough of handling both jobs, either transitioning into a new job as a stallion or performing as both an athlete and a stallion at the same time.